CD Projekt Red has just released a statement on Twitter asking for people's forgiveness after a shambolic launch of Cyberpunk 2077. So I want to jump straight into the tweet. There's a lot to talk about here, so let's begin. It says here, "Dear gamers, first of all, we would like to start by apologizing to you for not showing a game on base last-gen consoles before it premiered, and in consequence, not allowing you to make a more informed decision about your purchase. We should have paid more attention to making it play better on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One." I don't think the problem is the fact that it doesn't play better. I think the problem is that the game just doesn't even run. I mean, we've all seen the trending video now of the game just not starting. Second, we will fix bugs and crashes and improve the overall experience. The first round of updates has just been released and the next one is coming within the next 7 days. Expect more as we will update frequently whenever new improvements are ready. I mean, when was the last time you said something about being ready, huh? Oh yeah, that first trailer you released 7 years ago saying that the game will be released when the game is ready. But it's not. After the holidays, we will continue working. We'll release 2 large patches starting with patch 1 in January. This will be followed by patch 2 in February. Am I reading this right? 2 large patches starting with patch 1 in January. Today's December the 14th. That means we'll have to wait 3 weeks until the first big patch for consoles. That's a heck of a long time. Followed by the second patch in February. That means we'll have to wait for 2 months until the console gets a decent patch of the whole overall experience of the game. Oh my god. Together, these should fix the most prominent problems gamers are facing on last-gen consoles. We will be informing you about the contents of each patch ahead of their release. It won't make the game on last-gen look like it's running on a high-spec PC or next-gen console, but it will be closer to that experience than it is now. Finally, we'd always like everyone who buys our games to be satisfied with their purchase. We would appreciate it if you could give us a chance, but if you are not pleased with the game on your console and don't want to wait for updates, you can opt to refund a copy. For copies purchased digitally, please use the refund system of PS4 and Xbox respectively. For box versions, please first try to get a refund at the store where you bought the game. Should this not be possible, please contact us at helpmerefund@cdproject.com and we will do our best to help you. Starting from today, you can contact us for a week up until December 21st, 2020. PS, PC gamers will also be getting regular updates and fixes improving the game. I was going to say that this tweet had nothing in regards to PC, the PC version of the game, but luckily they did a little PC at the bottom there, so that makes me feel a little bit better because I play the game on PC. Where do we start? There's a lot to dig in here. I don't want to make this video like a hate video, like a ranting video, but there is one thing that I want to say, and that is that for those of you that are going to jump in this video and say, "Oh yeah, well the game runs fine for me, so I'm having the time of my life," here's what I think about you guys.
Oh my god, this game is so fun. I love CD Projekt Red.
Can I ask a question about the game? Because I seem to be having a problem. It's just the game's buggy for me, so I don't know.
Buggy?
Yeah.
Did you just install my RTX 3090 card?
No.
I'll have you know that I have a Ryzen 9 3950X installed in this bad boy. Yeah, and he's being water-cooled right now.
I just asked whether it's buggy for you.
Say the word bug one more time, you peasant.
Just because you spent 10,000 quid on a PC to play a 40 quid game doesn't make you special, by the way, but you keep enjoying the game.
Just because you're broken, you can't afford a PC, you console peasant.
Alright, come here, you! Let's talk about the tweet. Overall, thanks, but also no thanks. Like, thanks for knowing that the game is shambolic, and no thanks that this game is half-baked. I want to talk about 2 things that people aren't really talking about, or people that are talking about, but they don't really understand properly. 1, the lies under the seat. 2, the bigger picture of all of this. Let's start with number 1, the lies under the seat. Obviously this whole entire post is predominantly focusing on the base console, i.e. the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. But even then, the PlayStation 4 Pro, the Xbox One X, looks nothing like what they were showing in the Night City Wire gaming episodes. The game it's just not performing the way people were expecting. And with a game that has 8 million pre-orders, 41% of which are on console, that's not good enough. Now, obviously CDPR knows this, otherwise they wouldn't have released this tweet. But then this begs the question, where did they get the footage in the first place of the Xbox One X and the PlayStation 4 Pro footage? Because if you look at Digital Foundry's video, links will be in the description, probably cards flying around now, you can click on it. The game does not run or look like what they were showing. And to make this even worse, CDPR had an embargo on reviewers, not allowing them to review their own gameplays. I.e., the reviewer could chat as much crap about the game on the consoles, but they weren't allowed to show it. So the only footage they were allowed to use was the footage that CDPR provided themselves, which is obviously a marketing tactic, which is obviously disgusting, because if a reviewer is going, yo, this game is bad, by the way the gameplay in the background doesn't reflect on this, but the game looks so pretty on the Xbox One X and the PlayStation 4 Pro, yeah, we're getting lied to here. Now, the game is obviously not that expensive per se, so people aren't really that bothered by it. Obviously, people are still refunding the game, and this is heavily reflected by the fact that the game has a Metacritic score of 6.9 right now. But we got lied to here. Even on PCs, no matter how high-end your PC is, there are bugs. And don't try and tell me there aren't. But that just removes the point of the game. The fact that we pay 40 quid for a game, but we're also not told that we actually need a powerful PC or a powerful console to run it. That's the big problem. And a lot of people are saying, well, this game is so ambitious, you should expect this. No, we shouldn't. They were the ones telling us that this game runs well on previous gen consoles. And another problem is that this game has seen 2 life cycles of consoles. It saw the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4, because the first trailer for this game came out in 2013, and that was just when the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 was getting this massive hype and the release of it, obviously. Then, now this game comes out, and it comes out the same time that PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X comes out. So it's CDPR's fault for taking this long. If they didn't take this long, they would have easily been able to stuck to a generation of console that they want to focus on and hone in on it, so that everyone gets a decent experience. Now, a lot of people are going to say, well, oh, they actually didn't start developing the game in 2013, they started developing after Witcher 3. Well, that's their fault. The fact that, don't forget, The Witcher 3 came out with lots of bugs. So what did they do? As soon as they finished making Witcher 3, they didn't spend their time making Cyberpunk, they spent their time on the bugs and the patches of Witcher 3, which obviously cost them development time of Cyberpunk. We was literally seeing a repetitive cycle of CDPR releasing a game, then spending a lot of their resources, time and effort into patching the game. Fair enough, they released the DLCs for Witcher 3, which were incredible. It was almost like a whole new game in itself. But they still spent a lot of time fixing the bugs of Witcher 3. Then they half-baked Cyberpunk, and now they're fixing the bugs for Cyberpunk. You see what I'm trying to get at? They caused this own cycle of loop. They need to choose to stop the cycle and make one game 95% completed, with obviously a bit of bugs here and there. At the end of the day, this is a role-playing game, so there's bound to be bugs and glitches. But solve as many of them as possible so that you can waste little time and effort in the maintenance of the game, so that you can focus on your next project, because this is just going to keep recycling, it's just going to keep happening. That's the big problem. The lights on the seat, that's the first big problem, but I think we all know that. The second problem, which I think no one's talking about, which is a big problem for me, especially because I've been playing games since how long? I can't remember. I've been playing games since forever, so this is what bugs me out the most. It's the overall implication of this. Because this game has already made profit. From the first day of release of this game, CD Projekt Red has already covered up all the costs of their marketing, of their development, and they've made profit. From the first day of release, this game had 8 million copies, 59% of which were PC copies and 41% of which were console copies. That is incredible. Obviously, companies are going to try and mimic what CD Projekt Red has done. They're going to try and emulate this formula of, oh well, they generate a lot of hype with this game. In fact, my friend literally just told me the other day that the gameplay trailer for Cyberpunk 2077 has 30 million views within 3 weeks of that video being uploaded. That is incredible. This game obviously generated a lot of hype. In fact, I cannot think of a game right now from the top of my head that has seen any more hype than Cyberpunk. The hype train for this game wasn't even a train. It was a massive jet cargo plane. It was massive. Everyone was on that plane. I mean, 7 billion people were inside this plane. The whole world knew the presence of Cyberpunk 2077, whether you pre-ordered the game or not, whether you liked the game or not, whether you didn't like the game or not. The game has generated so much hype, and that's what companies want. They want people to see a game and to get excited for it, because that's what's going to generate the money. Fame equals money. If a product gets famous, they will make money no matter what. So obviously companies are going to copy this, emulate this. They see that Cyberpunk is blown up. They see that CD Projekt Red's sales team has just released the numbers, they released the figures. Wow, profit within the first day. And this is from a gaming perspective as well, from a games company. First day profit, that's really rare. In fact, I can't think of a game that's made profit within the first day. That's incredible. So companies are going to copy this. And we know which companies. We know the big bad boys. We know Bethesda. We know EA. We know Activision, although Activision aren't the actual makers of the game, but they're the publishers, and they have a massive influence on what happens in the games. I mean, we've seen COD, we saw what Black Ops 3 became with all the microtransactions. We know that companies are going to look at what CDPR has done, look at their success from a money point of view, and copy this. This is obviously bad on the gamer's perspective, because we can't be asked to buy a game that's half-baked. We want a game to be polished. Obviously not polished for absolutely every single person, that's not possible. I think of how many consoles are out, like there's the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 4 Pro, PlayStation 5, and on the Xbox there's even more. There's Xbox One, Xbox One X, there's a Series S and a Series X, so that's 7 consoles already. Then think about the PCs, think of how many different combinations of CPUs, GPUs, RAM, storage you can have. Obviously the game's not going to be perfect for everyone, but these bugs are prominent in the game in itself, not just the version of the game. The bugs are happening for the PC versions, for the console versions. For anyone that's playing right now, you have to experience a bug, and that's a big problem. That's the reason why the Metacritic score for this game is a 6.9. So that's my problem. It's not the fact that there's bugs in the game, it's the fact that even though there's bugs in the game, this game is still stupidly successful and making profit. And so companies are going to copy this, emulate this, release a half-baked game, thinking, oh, you know, well, CD Projekt Red are good for maintaining the game, right? For the maintenance of the game, for fixing the game after the game's been launched. They still make profit, so we'll just copy it. That's obviously not a good thing. We're not supporting this. So, but if there's anything to take away from this video, it's that CD Projekt Red, you've got a lot of catching up to do. If you guys like this video, please hit that like button, it'll mean the absolute world to me. If you want to see more Cyberpunk videos, you know what to do, make sure to subscribe to this channel. I'm going to be uploading way more Cyberpunk content, I'm going to be uploading lots more Warzone content, especially when the next season comes out, which is like in 2 days time, I think, December the 16th. So yeah, just stay up to date with me. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Peace.